Hey guys, it's LeBryant.
This is Fanika Friend.
And we are in our next segment of Couch Conversations. And this is a special segment. It's actually entitled Couch Conversations After Dark.
So listen, put your children away. Don't roll this in front of people. If Granny is, Granny gonna clutch her pearls, this might not be the segment for Granny.
Yeah,
but be sure this is what is it, a parental advisory?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they put on the little CDs of the hip hoppers?
But
don't they put that on the hip hopper
they
CD?
do. I don't even think this one is that bad, though, to be honest with you.
But you don't want to talk about it in front of your kids.
Yeah, you just may not. Well, it just depends on. Well, no, we don't want to talk about it. All right, so we did a series at our church last month called Relationship Goals. And what we did on Tuesday nights, we opened up the door for like question and answer. So we allowed people to send us in questions anonymously, and we would answer these questions in the midst of service. Well, when we got to the last week, people started really getting free. And they started, they started sending all types of whatnot questions. So some of those, because we had kids in the room, we didn't want to answer right away. But we decided to do a special segment where we
decided to do.
Okay. I decided to do a special segment where we would answer some of these questions. So I'm going to take just a few of these. I'm going to read them off. And I'm going to let Fanika be the first one to answer
I ain't going to answer these questions. Granny said you don't let the peoples in your bedroom.
So here you go, Fanika. You ready?
No, I ain't ready.
What are your thoughts on oral sex? Is it a sin? I've heard mixed reviews on it and wanted some insight to it.
If it's a sin, I'm going to hell. Next.
That's what.
Hellbound! Gasoline draws! I'm going down, down, down with burn, burn, burn.
So,
you should ask me.
Compose myself. You want to elaborate?
No.
You don't want to elaborate? All right. So here are my thoughts. Very quickly, and she'll elaborate, I'm sure, after my thoughts. For me, no, it's not a sin.
Get deep, Pastor. Get deep.
I'm not.
Give him a word about it.
I'm going to take him to word.
Songs of Solomon and tell him what he said.
You just go read Song of Solomon, and pay very close attention to the poetic excellence used within the context of that scripture. Don't read in King James. I need you to find like a amplified or even the Message version.
I should have pulled it up.
We should have and just read some of it out. And you will see very clearly when he begins talking about tasting of her nectar. He's not talking about kissing her lips. I probably shouldn't say what I was about to say. All right, from my vantage point and perspective, I don't see anything wrong with it in the confines of marriage. Everybody shout marriage.
Marriage.
Right, so in the confines of marriage. You can't be going around licking and sticking on everybody. You can't go around, yeah. So within the context
you really did, man.
Right, I reeled it in if I got too far. Within the context of marriage, for me, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it'd be pretty boring to be a missionary all your life. I think that you have to have some versatility in what you do. And
got to have some versatility.
I think that without versatility, the opportunity to wander away becomes very, I won't say it will happen, but the possibility of it possibly transpiring increases.
Now we talking about two people with able body. Now I don't want nobody come with no hate mail talking about I'm sick and I can't do this. That ain't what we talking about. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you gotta like swing from the ceiling fan, but there should be able bodied.
Mm-hmm. They got door swings.
Number 2. Is it okay?
AdamandEve.com.
So you just gonna plug Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
We gotta edit that. You can't just plug Adam and Eve.
Why not?
Number 2, is it okay?
You got me on camera.
You know, folks are gonna run to their website like right now.
They should.
They're gone. They have clicked off of our
Married people, they should.
They have clicked off our video to go see what in the world Number 2, is it okay to be friends with people you've had sex with? Vanika? Breathe.
So in my case, well, I guess we're not friends. However, I did have a daughter previously with a gentleman, and so we do have to have, some type of communication because we share a child. However, just like buddy, ha ha, he and out with somebody you had sex. Now, I just don't think it's wise, unless you have like a lot of boundaries and parameters. I mean, like a ton. I just don't want to say like a definite
Unless it was
no.
bad.
Now, if it was bad.
Well, okay, but that's different. I shouldn't even said that. No.
You suck!
Shouldn't even
We can be
started.
free.
I don't even know why we got here, but let's just go ahead. All right. For me, I kind of think along the same lines. Like, unless there are some, amazing boundaries and amazing, it's probably still not enough. It's kind of challenging to keep someone in your proximity where you know every one of their birthmarks, you know the ins and outs of them. I think it's challenging. Like Vanika, if I still talk to someone very regularly that I had been intimate with before we were married, would you be good with that?
It'd be a no for me, fam.
Okay. Just no. Flat out no.
I mean, you could speak.
Just do the church mother wave, just like.
Well, you know what? No, I'm really joking. I'm so confident.
It can't be done.
So
to be clear, she's confident, but I would still hear about it. It's just not feasible. And I know every situation, there are case by case scenarios. I get it. I believe, I don't even think I could. I think I would have challenges pastoring someone that I had been that level of intimate with. That's just
I can agree with that.
It's just challenging. You've crossed parameters and you've crossed boundaries with someone that you probably should have never seen anyway. And even though there is forgiveness for everything and there's grace for it all, I think just the natural side of us, it just becomes very challenging. So I don't think I could, and I know I wouldn't want Vanika to either. So within the context of marriage, I would say no. Now, if you're single, I still say it's difficult just to kind of go back to where you were.
Because if the moon is right,
I'm telling you,
and the stars align,
and your soul is still tied,
you will find yourself back.
And say, I don't know how we got here. It's kind of like that. What's the song? No, not that one. What's how to go?
Hit that tweet.
No. Oh man. We can't be friends if we can't be lovers. You remember that? You don't remember that song?
Yeah, but why you?
All right. Number 3.
Go to the next question.
When a man and woman are married, they belong to one another. So, are there any boundaries in their sex life, or is it a comfort level to be discussed?
It's a comfort level to be discussed.
Sure.
Is what I say, because what someone else might do in the bedroom, someone else might not have done that. I do think there's a level where you can train and teach and coach of what you like.
Sure.
And I think that's a lot of times too. I think that's something taboo. Couples are afraid to say, I don't like it when you do that. I like it when you do that. Or how about let's try this? You know what I'm saying? And I think it is okay, sure. But long as both parties are willing, you can't say hang from a chandelier and, she plus size like me. That might take the ceiling down. That just wouldn't be wise. So
the other part of it, though, is I do agree that most restrictions are off. Now, I don't think it is safe to start talking about, well, let's add folks in because the bedroom is under 5, So we said, let's just add 2 other women in.
That's just demonic.
Right. I don't
I
think
almost
that.
said somebody to keep
I don't
it
think
in.
that part. I don't think there's wisdom behind that part. However, I do think, and I do this intentionally in premarital counseling. I think there are questions you need to ask about sex before you get married to somebody. I don't think you just need to jump into marriage with your own assumptions and expectations and their own assumptions and expectations, and those things have never been communicated. Like, if I know we're about to be together till death do us part, there's some things I need to know before I die about what you do or what is the possibility of transpiring within the context of our marriage relationship. What's safe, what's not, what can be done, what can't be done. What are you comfortable with? What are you willing to grow into, etc.
Absolutely.
So, you got anything else? You done? Let me see if we got one more question. Oh, let me pull one more question out here. There had to be one more that went right along in this whole taboo segment. All right. This one really isn't a taboo one, but I think that is a good one for us to ask and or answer. How can you receive love from someone who was never shown love, how to love in the first place? I feel like I've been rejected within the context of marriage from love.
That's a good one. And, especially for me, I didn't grow up with either of my parents, my biological mother or my father. And so for the longest time, that kind of shaped my mind of what I thought love was, or that I was unlovable, for two parents to be alive and well and nothing is wrong with them, able-bodied. And so I at first I really struggled in the context of feeling like someone could love me, because I feel like, the two people that should have loved me or been assigned to me, because my parents were married, right. And I never lived with them. And so I really struggled early on as a child growing up, just kind of feeling like how about love. Mm-hmm. But then when I got into relationships, I almost really needed the validation of a man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to receive love, but it was something that I just wanted. Now, I wasn't out in the streets, but when I did get a man, I just really needed, love. And it wasn't until I really allowed the Holy Spirit to really come in my life and really deal with those parts of me so I could love even correctly. You know what I mean? Because I would almost love with like a cap. I only poured a certain amount, and this is all you would get from me, because I was always thinking this person would leave. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was just the ideology of the things that happened with my biological parents. So for me, it wasn't until I allowed God to heal that space in me so I can learn to love correctly. But I think what happens is a lot of times people don't get the deliverance that they need, and things or traumas that happen to them young in life, they take that stuff over into relationships, they take it over into marriage, or they'll say, my dad didn't do this with my mom, or I didn't even see my mom ever show me an affection, so then I don't know how to show affection. Sure. But I think the thing is, you have to say, if this is something that you desire, and love was something that I desire, but in a pure form, and not with something in return, or not a love where I always thought, you would run out or you would leave. And for a while, because I was a runner, that's how it would be. So if it was a little bit of a tiff or a little bit of argument, I would just automatically be, he don't love me. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Versus saying, it's just a little argument. That don't mean you don't love, but I think it was just because the view that I had, as it pertains to love. So I think if you don't allow the Holy Spirit and God to really heal those places in you, I think you would take that stuff into your relationships, and it will begin to manifest.
And the other side of that, and I agree completely with everything Tanika just said, and I think coupled with that, not the other side, just coupled with it, is if you have not completely communicated the way that you best receive love to the one that you're with, you may always feel like you're being rejected. For instance, the way I communicate love is not the same way Fanika does. Fanika has always been real big on physical touch. So we can be walking in a store, in a mall. She want to put a hand in my pocket. She want to put a hand in my back pocket. She want to hold my hand. I'm like, ma'am, give me my space. I need space. I need space. But the way I communicate love has always been words of affirmation. It's the way I receive it, so it's the way I communicate it. So even Fanika and I went years where we knew we loved each other. We just couldn't figure out the way to best communicate that love. And I'm trying to communicate love to her the way that I received it. But because she wasn't receiving it, she still felt rejected. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be conversations about what are the ways that you best receive love.
What's the book? Is it Gary Chapman?
Gary Chapman.
Gary Chapman.
5 Love Languages.
5 Love Languages. I
Yep.
think I got it in my library. But you, listen, couples, dating, you need to get that book. You need to read it. You need to take the test. You need to figure out what it is. We just recently took the test again. Teaching a class, a marriage class we taught in Arizona. And one of mine's changed. One of it changed.
She don't know who she is anymore. She is.
But as we're ever evolving, it's something we talked about before. As we're ever evolving, there's things that will change between us. And now that kids are in the mix, it's different. When it was just you and I, now how I find you folding a load of laundry so sexy and so amazing, and I feel so in love with
Acts
you
of
when
service.
you
I'm
when
about
you
to go fold some laundry in a minute, actually. Paying it forward. So I think that you have to be able and be sure that you are communicating how you want love or what love means to you. For some, it's just being able, like we're doing now, just to sit on the couch. You ain't got to have the TV on, but just having quality time. For some, it's physical touch. It's words of affirmation. It's gifts or service. Figure out what your language is, and some of the rejection is absolved when the one that you're with knows the best way to communicate the way that you want to receive love. Okay?
Yeah. It's good.
Good? Sure? All right. Well, that is this episode of Couch Conversations. Hope you all are enjoying and continue to enjoy.
And listen, like, comment, subscribe. And
below.
if you have any questions, that you want us to ask, put it below. Put it below.
Right down there.
Put it below so we can see them. And as we do more videos, we want to talk about what y'all want to hear about. We don't want to just be talking. We love to talk now.
I talk all day.
But you don't talk as much as me.
Not nearly as much as you, but I still talk all day. You talk a lot more. A whole lot more.
But
you never stop talking.
But put your comments down below, and we'll do our best. And hey, maybe one of your questions will be a part of our next couch conversation.